This is the brightest day I've had in my sports career, I'll tell you for sure, and I don't think there'll ever be one to equal it.
You're not that tough looking. I want to introduce the greatest quarterback in pro football, Lenny Dawson. And now, the greatest coach in pro football, Hank Stram.
Thank you very much. We're very proud of the recognition that we established as champions of the world of professional football, and we sincerely think that you people here are the super fans of pro football. Thank you very much.
The greatest day in the history of Kansas City. This team is the greatest in the universe.
It all began with Coach Hank Stram's training grind, which had the Chiefs supremely fit for the season's opener in sunny San Diego. As usual, the Chiefs' defense swarmed all over the Chargers. And as usual, their favorite target was quarterback John Hadle. Hadle was forced into 4 interceptions, 2 by Johnny Robinson. Despite a painfully swollen passing hand, Len Dawson threw 2 touchdown passes to Otis Taylor as the Chiefs swept past the Chargers 27-9. The following week in Boston, Len Dawson rolled, sprinted, and passed the Patriots into submission 31-0. Len Dawson is the complete quarterback, a picture book quarterback, the AFL's all-time leading passer, a durable leader who had missed only 3 games in 9 years. And then suddenly, it was over. A torn ligament in his left knee twisted Len Dawson's future into a question mark. Quarterback Jackie Lee led the Chiefs to an early lead the next week in Cincinnati. But then Lee broke an ankle, and it was the Bengals who made the big plays. The Bengals won 24-19, and the Chiefs left Cincinnati in 3rd place and without their top 2 quarterbacks. The next week, the Chiefs hobbled into Denver. The starting quarterback position had passed to a young man named Mike Livingston, who had never before started a pro game. For 3 periods, 2 rugged teams slugged it out in a swamp. Finally, a perfect sweep sprung newly acquired Warren McVay, and Hank Stram had found a new way to win. Then came the home opener against the indoor Oilers. The opening handshake was the last sane event of the day. From now on, the record book will read, most fumbles, game. Kansas City, 10. Chiefs veteran punter Gerald Wilson averaged almost 50 yards. Houston's rookie Roy Girella didn't fare so well. Any kind of a kick was risky at best. Of course, a touchdown is better than a field goal any day. The The following week against Miami, Mike Livingston led the Chiefs to their third straight victory with his first 300-yard passing day, including the longest play from scrimmage of the pro season, 93 yards to Otis Taylor, who pulled a muscle but was rescued by Robert Holmes. Then the largest crowd in Kansas City history came to see if Livingston could continue his startling success against Cincinnati. Livingston overcame his errors of inexperience and threw 3 touchdown passes, 1 to Gloucester Richardson, 1 to Mike Garrett, and 1 to Robert Holmes, who does everything within his power to make every play a touchdown. The crusher was applied by former Bengal Warren McVeigh, who skittered 80 tortuous yards to a touchdown, as the injury-riddled Chiefs closed the first half of the season by avenging their only defeat.
This is ESPN Classic.
Just because you're in front doesn't mean you sit back and watch the others try and catch up. If you can make a great thing better, you do it. And that's what they've done with new Mobil 1 Tri-Synthetic. That's a bit of a mouthful, but basically it means new Mobil 1 protects against engine wear better than ever before. Helps your anti-pollution gear work better too. For me, using anything less just isn't an option.
Nothing outperforms Mobil 1.
Rogaine Extra Strength is proven to work for 4 out of 5 men.
I like my chances.
Only Rogaine has extra strength, and it's proven to stop hair loss or regrow hair. Rogaine Extra Strength, proven to work.
The Acura Integra, equipped with a race-proven 16-valve twin-cam engine. So we can take you just about anywhere. Quickly. 1999 Integra from Acura.
3 things I always do before I barbecue ribs. Whip up my secret hot sauce, get the coals just right, and I always take a Pepsid AC.
Whatever's cooking, Pepsid AC can stop heartburn before it starts.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight on ESPN Classic. At 7, you voted for it, and the results are in. Find out what game you picked on Classic Click and Pick. Then it's your favorite sports legends profiled on Sports Century. Tonight, only on ESPN Classic.
This is ESPN Classic.
The second half of the season began in Buffalo, where the famous O.J. Simpson got his first look at the famous Kansas City defense. Even more of a target was quarterback Dan Darrah. The front 4 dumped him 9 times for more than 90 yards and losses, as the Chiefs racked up their 5th straight victory, 29-7. Back home, another record crowd saw Warren McVeigh's left hand knock out the Chargers as the Chiefs rolled to their 6th straight win. Joe Namath and the world champion Jets had also won 6 straight, and the largest crowd in AFL history jammed New York's Shea Stadium to see Super Joe shoot holes through the Chiefs' bulletproof defense. Sometimes he succeeded. More often, he did not. The other quarterback that day was a man named Dawson, who was ready to test himself against the Jets' tough pass rush. Dawson avoided the pressure long enough to throw 3 touchdown passes to Otis Taylor. Chiefs had won their 7th straight, 34-16, and a national audience finally recognized that the Kansas City Chiefs were for real. Another record crowd welcomed their conquering heroes, who in turn welcomed the Oakland Raiders. The Chiefs' offense kept rolling as it had the previous week in New York. Len Dawson continued to throw touchdown passes. One more sailed to Otis Taylor. Still another to Frank Pitts. But the rest of the day was a nightmare revisited. The Raiders literally stole the game 27-24. On Thanksgiving Day against Denver, Len Dawson's knee was re-injured slightly, and the offense was having its problems. The defense saved the day. Emmett Thomas intercepted and flashed 47 yards to a touchdown. With time running out, Denver trailed by only a touchdown. Coach Lou Saban called for an onside kick. But All-Pro linebacker Bobby Bell was ready. Bell's touchdown wrapped up the Chiefs' 19th win in 20 games against the Broncos. O.J. Simpson had a second look at the Kansas City defense in the Chiefs' final home game. This time, Jack Kemp was Buffalo's quarterback with a problem. Late in the game, O.J. finally broke loose and tied the score. But place kicker Jan Stenerud kicked 5 consecutive field goals, which not only won the game, but set an all-time pro record of 16 straight without a miss. The regular season ended in Oakland. The Chiefs played a cautious, conservative game, passing only 6 times, running 48 times. Each team scored only 1 touchdown. For the Raiders, it was enough to defeat the Chiefs for the 7th time in 8 games.
When you can't escape the scorching heat, here's the solution that'll keep you cool and comfortable wherever you are. A Sharper Image exclusive, the Personal Cooling System. It keeps your body feeling so nice and cool you might think you're wearing a miniature air conditioner. But here's how it works. Switch on the Whisper Quiet fan, and the accelerated cooling process creates a cool zone that's up to 20 degrees cooler than the hot, dry air around you.
This thing's fantastic.
As soon as I put it on, I felt cooled off right away.
Immediately when I put it on, I could feel my body cool down.
Just put this on, and this makes a world of difference. I think I can jog for another hour with this.
Beat the heat no matter where you are. Golfing, fishing, gardening, or even mowing the lawn.
Call now to order your miniature wearable personal cooling system from the Sharper Image. 1-800-650-6800. 1-800-650-6800.
To unlock your body's potential, there is nothing better than Soloflex. All the standard strength training exercises, each one correct in form and balance. The original, still unequaled Soloflex.
Hank Stram became the winningest coach of the winningest team in AFL history because of an irrepressible drive to find a way to win. He built a team of infinite variety, from its opportunistic special teams to the longest and most accurate place kicker in football. He built a defense which led the league in virtually every category. Number 75, Jerry Mays, was voted the AFL's all-time best defensive end. Number 87, Aaron Brown, became one of the strongest defensive ends in the game. All-Pro Buck Buchanan, number 86, has long been a pillar of strength in the middle. He was joined at tackle by number 61, Curly Culp, the former NCAA wrestling champion who now throws football players for a living. Middle linebacker Willie Lanier, number 63, is one of the best at getting to the ball, playing off the block, and then punishing the ball carrier. Number 51, Jim Lynch, is one of the most mobile linebackers in football. Bobby Bell was voted the AFL's all-time best outside linebacker. He is a collision looking for a place to happen. The Chiefs secondary has always had tough hitters. Rookie cornerback Jim Marcellus stepped right in. The Chiefs grabbed 32 interceptions, the most in pro football. Johnny Robinson, number 42, the AFL's all-time best safety man, had 8 interceptions, second best in the league. Number 18, Emmett Thomas, led the league with 9. Jim Kearney, number 46, became one of football's strongest strong safeties. Smart, aggressive, fast, he always seemed to be making good things happen for the Chiefs. He is the valuable but unsung kind of player every championship team must have. Hank Stram's revolutionary offense has caused pro defenses many anxious moments. Sometimes it really helps to have a quarterback who can run. Usually, however, the Big Five, Tyre, Hill, Buddy, Mormon, and Holub, facilitated the more noticeable parts of the game, like the forward pass. One of the more noticeable Chiefs was number 84, Fred Arbanis, the AFL's all-time best tight end. Often, the ball was thrown to a sticky-fingered wide receiver like Gloucester Richardson, number 30. Or number 25, Frank Pitts, one of the swiftest runners in pro football. And of course, Otis Taylor, the game breaker. As usual, the Chiefs led the league in rushing. Number 38, Wendell Hayes, was the battering ram. And then there were the mini-backs. Number 6, Warren Motor Mouse McVeigh. Number 45, Robert the Tank Holmes. And number 21, Marvelous Mike Garrett. They are only 5 feet 9 inches tall, but they are among the game's most scintillating performers.
With 10-10-220, you can call around the world at remarkably low rates. Call anywhere in the U.S. and it's only 99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes. Canada, too. But I said the world, didn't I? Call your aunt in Greece, a friend in Italy. With 10-10-220, call most of Europe, and it's only $1.99 for all calls up to 10 minutes and just 19 cents a minute after that. Call family in Mexico, and it's only $2.99 for all calls up to 10 minutes and 29 cents a minute after that. 10-10-220. It's much bigger than you thought.
I expect a lot of my family. I expect Joe to get heartburn, Tony to get nausea, and Sarah indigestion at the mere sight of food. Instead, Joe would get indigestion, Tony diarrhea, and I'd end up with heartburn. I just keep first aid handy at all times.
Pepto-Bismol relieves more stomach problems than any of these other leading medicines.
I expect the unexpected.
Pepto-Bismol, first aid for heartburn, diarrhea, nausea, indigestion, and upset stomachs.
This is ESPN Classic.
What influence do the NBA legends of yesterday have on the stars of today? Find out on Vintage NBA. Thursday, smooth-shooting southpaw Chris Mullin looks back at the career of Hondo Havlicek. Vintage NBA, Thursday at 8 on ESPN.
December 20th in cold, blustery Shea Stadium, the AFL playoffs were underway. In the quarter, a New York field goal tied the score after the Jets had been stopped 3 times from the Kansas City 1. On first down, Matt Snell had gained only 1/2 yard. On second down, Bill Mathis had been stopped cold for no gain. On third down, Namath had rolled right, and 3 Chiefs had crushed him. Then suddenly, Len Dawson and Otis Taylor turned the game around with a 61-yard explosion to the Jets' 19-yard line. On the very next play, Dawson hit Gloucester Richardson for the game's only touchdown. With time running out, Joe Namath faded a pass. The ball sailed straight for Bake Turner in the end zone, but Jim Marcellus leaped and grabbed his second interception, and the Jets' reign as world champions was near its end. With less than a minute to play, the Chiefs punted, and the Jets had one final chance. Suddenly, the only obstacle between the Chiefs and the Super Bowl was a team called the Oakland Raiders. the last AFL championship game. The old nemesis, Oakland. 7 losses in 8 games. Len Dawson tried to surprise the Raiders by throwing long to Otis Taylor. Nothing seemed to work. In the third quarter, Robert Holmes was nearly trapped for a safety. Third down from the 2. Again, Len Dawson tried to surprise the Raiders by throwing long to Otis Taylor. Suddenly, a 14-7 lead, and everything was up to the defense. Three times in the fourth quarter, a weird turnover set up Darryl LaMonica within striking distance. And 3 times in the fourth quarter, the Chiefs intercepted LaMonica. The final turnover occurred when Emmett Thomas grabbed his second interception and took off for the Raider goal. Thomas's 62-yard dash set up Jan Stenerud's clinching field goal, and the Chiefs had finally beaten the Raiders and had won their way to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs had played in the first Super Bowl game 3 years before, and memories of that day still lingered. Memories of that beautiful, hopeful day in Los Angeles when Hank Stram's Chiefs met Vince Lombardi's Packers, the universally acclaimed team of the decade. But this time would be different, as Joe Kapp and the Minnesota Vikings soon discovered. A decade of Green Bay Packer domination had long since ended. A new era had indisputably arrived. The Green Bay Packers may have been pro football's team of the 60s, but Coach Hank Stram's Kansas City Chiefs had become pro football's undisputed of the 70s.